Hey everyone, Dave here with Affordable Door and Gate. Just cruising down to the job. Thought I'd talk to you, give you a little heads up what we're getting into today. So, we finally got a dry day. This whole week has been just a rain day. Rain on and off, it's gonna rain, it's not gonna rain. I couldn't get, a 3 to 4 hour window that was dry weather. So, it's Saturday. And we're going down to work on this gooseneck. I'm going to show you some stuff. I'm going to show you some tricks, teach you some stuff. I was just thinking about when I'm down there, I got to remind myself, I want to tell you about this door that I remember I did years ago and what happened to it behind me at the building. So I'll show you some stuff down there. One of those things I always explain about possibly maybe not getting into maybe the gates or the, when you do garage doors, there is some beauty to it. And the beauty is that most of the time you're inside, you're in shelter. So the weather doesn't bother you too bad, right? You kind of you want to get the door kind of stacked, right? As quick as possible. So you kind of keep either anything, people from walking in and out, weather conditions, rain, snow, hot weathers, the sun, right? You're kind of let's get this puppy stacked. And then you're pretty much good. The rest of it's all fine tuning. It's back hangs, it's drops, it's your angle iron, all that stuff. It's not too bad. So the reason I tell you this, I think this thing keeps tipping, is maybe sometimes you got too much on the plate there. You know what I'm saying? So you might, if you can't handle it, then you probably don't want to do it. And the reason I bring it up is I go back into that whole concrete thing, right? I mean, concrete, when you bring concrete into a situation, it changes the dynamics of things so much. When you do garage doors, you're not dealing with concrete. But I just mean with the mixing, you got to bring the water, you got to bring a wheelbarrow, you got to bring the shovels, plus you're digging. What I'm going to get into, I think, is going to be pretty packed. So I'm hoping I got enough battery power, let's just say, to make it happen. I think I can, but I'll see you down there. We'll chat in a few. All right, you guys, hopefully the wind's not too bad down here, but I'm going to let you know what we're getting into here. So originally, the customer wants to take this and they want to move it back over here. And, working on a Saturday, you can't always get all your answers, right? So I got to make an executive decision here. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it here. And the reason being is if you look at this driveway, look how close this is. If I bring it back here, it's back farther, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to fix this post. I really got to get my wind thing on. But if you look, the driveways, it doesn't make more sense to go over here. It just doesn't make sense. Now I can cut over here into this. Then I worry about the plow guy. And then I worry that we got to put another one of these up. So there's a lot of things. I'm thinking what I'm going to do is they want a two-decker? I don't know what you call it, but it's 2 keypads. I'm going to put it on there. If they want it moved, that's not a problem. It's already, the wires are still there. It's easy. The concrete's already here. This is going to save the customer a lot of money because I already pulled up with the van. I tried it numerous times, right? I tried to imitate I'm a customer, pulled up with the van, and I'm thinking my front end doesn't hit that. You got a walkway here. You got the railroad tracks here. It's kind of compact in here, but I don't feel strong about this being a better spot because you're so close to this. If you came through here and, you fall into that, where I look at this and I just go, that's just more of a straight shot. That's probably why the predecessors, their ancestors, did it that way. They thought this is a good spot right here. And I think it is a good spot. I think the customer's more having issues with it not being tall enough for a truck or stuff like that, is my guess. So I'm standing here waiting. I was waiting for a phone call. Let me show you this door. All right, let me tell you a little story about this door. Me and this door, we got some history. Fortunately, I can't go in there. It's locked. It's the weekends. I'm not going to go in there because it's just not right. So this door right here, though, you wouldn't believe it. This was my failure. And with my failure, what I mean is, I can't remember if this door actually, I think this door went to crap in a handbasket. It just got old. They wanted to replace it. And I remember this door ended up, I remember it very vividly. It ended up It got old. We replaced it, right? And you wouldn't believe it, right? So the old door was made out of heavy steel, thicker steel with the ribs, because the ribs add strength to these doors. So we replaced the door. And I remember this door, when we replaced it, I don't know what happened. Here's the ribs. But when we replaced it, it wasn't as heavy steel door. Remember this door? It's not even on a real prevailing wind side, I wouldn't say. We're facing, what is it, east roughly? And I remember it was like, it might have been 6 months later or something like that, right? And they didn't send us like enough struts. And this could be my fault too. This whole door kinked right down the center and blew in the building. It blew in. And I'm like, I get a phone call. Hey, you know that new door you installed? Yeah, what about it? It blew in. It what? Needless to say, we had to put new sections on. Needless to say, we had to put struts on every section. The darn thing blew in. I couldn't believe it. So that just goes to show you, sometimes you take out old doors, right? And you think, oh, you know, the old door was fine. We really don't. And this door is actually, you can see how big this building, it's a full vertical. The door goes full vertical. But the new stuff isn't built. It's heavy duty. I mean, I could have probably got heavier steel, but I couldn't believe it. The darn thing blew in, man. Talk about coming back, embarrassment. Got to take the door apart, put up new sections. So everything in there now, every one has a strut. And that's kind of like where it goes to that whole thing I tell you about. Like, I don't like misaligned struts and stuff. Just strut the whole darn thing. Just, if you're already there strutting, just strut the whole thing. You know, then everything's engineered, the springs. All right, I think I got a plan. Now I got to execute it. Time to get to work. As my brain started kicking in, I started realizing that I didn't bring the other gooseneck. So, but I at least wanted to see what I was working with here. And I didn't know if it was burial mount, but obviously it's pad mount. So I got to take the screws out. It's like I said, it was, you know, there's, I don't know, 4, maybe 5 inches or so of dirt above it. So see what I'm working with, get these screws loose and move on. So here's something for you new guys. It might be something that you just never really thought of or seen before, and might be able to learn something. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut a notch into this pipe. It's crooked, pretty severe. And by cutting a notch in it, it relieves it, and I can actually straighten out the pole. It's just one of those things to go above and beyond to make it look nice for the customer when they pull up. Instead of looking at that crooked pipe, it's going to take a heck of a lot more effort. There ain't no doubt. But it's these little things, these details that can add up. So the notch is already cut. I didn't really have much to knock this thing out. And so I found a chisel. Yeah, it works. Sometimes you just got to use what you got. I'm going to try to chisel this chunk out of here, and you'll see. Needed just a little more Sawzall action right there. And bam, she released. So you can see that gap. It's not enough, but I'm taking that chunk out. I'm going to save that chunk too, because sometimes I need those pieces for extra welding and whatnot, so I don't throw them away quite yet. I shouldn't, obviously it's too big, but took it out, and voila, now I got a gap in there. I worked at it for a little bit. I'm going to push it, see how it's pinching together. That's going to help make that pull straight. It's work. I mean, it ain't going to be perfect. I'm going to grind a little bit more and, you know, keep messing with it, but I'll eventually get it. At least it'll look, you know, 98% better. That's for sure. And there we go. We're on the right track. It's at least looking somewhat vertical. And it's going to be a lot nicer for the customer. So basically, I ran out of batteries, so I'm going to have to go back, and that battery didn't last very long. It's going to need to get charged, so I'm dying on batteries, basically. And while we're here, might as well spray the chain down with some oil, because I can tell it needs it. And it's just the right thing to do. Now, I'll tell you a little trick. There's different ways you can do this. I've done it before. Real easy ways. I'm making a video for you guys, so it's kind of hard. And this can's being funky. But run it right by the gate operator as you run it. You don't have to walk this whole thing and make this big line. But this is commercial. They don't care. They spill oil, all kinds of crap all over this thing. But the other thing is too, is see, I haven't left the job yet. I forgot. I didn't forget. I figured I was doing concrete today, so I thought, oh, I don't need that gooseneck because I'm not going to put it on wet concrete. Well, things have changed. I should have brung it. So what I like to do though is I like to do as much as I can. Do as much as I can. So hopefully I'll only make one trip. Because if I don't spray this right now, see this can being weird? I wouldn't know this. I got one more can. But I might need to grab another can is what my point is if I didn't do this. So exhaust everything. Try to exhaust everything you can. Get it done now. Like I'm going to fix that for them. I don't like that. Especially wintertime coming. That's not cool, man. I always spray these brackets too because somebody's going to have to get to them at some point. Always think about the next guy. Woo! Man, you guys are heavy. There we go. I'm going to tighten the chain up too. Might not do it right at this moment though. Just because she's running. And I got adjustment. Ooh, not a lot. But she's still got another yank in her. So we'll give her another yank, get her up for the winter time. It's just little things that make big differences. This thing could use some help. This thing ain't gonna last much longer. Ooh, she ain't looking too good. I got some spray rust stuff I might spray on there. Try it out. That might be a good test spot for the future. So we'll see. So there's a lot of beautiful things about working on Saturdays though. There's no traffic coming through here. This thing has died down over the years a little bit. They've changed and went to a bigger facility. So this doesn't get as much activity, but there's still quite a bit of activity in here. So it's just wonderful because like today, when you work after hours or weekends, which I know sucks, you got the place to yourself. Nobody's coming in and out. I mean, look at that. You're just here. I did have one guy come through. I had to filter him. I'm like, you belong here? He's like, yep. He ran the equipment in another building here, so I know he does. And what's really nice about this facility, not to say, you know, I only got to go the liquid stage right now, let's just say, using the restroom. But the beautiful thing is, look at that. Bathroom. Nice. And oh man, let's check out this view. Nice loader. Look at all the development. You ever seen Muskegon Lake? It runs into Michigan Lake Michigan, dummy. It's a Harley Davidson place. You can see the symbol on the gray. They just built these new buildings down here. That's a huge salt pile right there. That's what we use to salt our roads and rust our vehicles away. It's wonderful, isn't it? All right, bathroom time. In this restroom, comes with lights, electricity to charge your phone, extra toilet paper. Can't beat that. Pretty nice. I pray for you, door, that you shall never break. This is a big door. A big rolling steel door. Huge. I mean, look at the... Oh, I thought there was a man door. There's a man door right here. See the man door on the side of the building? And how big this guy is? It's all of 16 or 18 wide. Probably 20 tall. Oh, I hope that door never breaks. It doesn't get used much. But they probably, for big stuff like this, big loader. Look how big this is. All right. Well, I'm going to show you when I get to the job site. I'm going to show you the back of the van because it is just loaded with stuff. And then when I'm all done with the job, I'm going to have to clean all that stuff. I got a whole bunch of overkill stuff I don't need. It's just the nature of the beast. So I had to get batteries charged. Batteries are rigid. I'm going to order a few more for this truck. They're not the best. I just killed them with the grind and stuff like that. I'm going to try out the Milwaukee power pack. I don't know if it's going to be able to hold up with a welder. We'll see. we'll test it out. I've been okay with the Milwaukee Power Pack. There's been a few things. It's a little bulky. It doesn't feel, I don't know, it just doesn't feel as nice as the DeWalt. It's just the design of it feels, I just like the DeWalt. I like the slimness, I like the light. It feels like it's lighter to me. I don't know, it's just, I'm still not 100%. So I had to get that, I had to get reflective tape. What else? I had to get extension cords just in case. I mean, I had a whole laundry list of stuff. I made sure I brought some alcohol. Like I said, I brought the stickers, the DOT, reflective tape. So that ate up about almost an hour and a half, 2 hours, because by the time I threw lunch in there, by the time I got everything, by the time everything got charged, it was basically 2 hours. So I'll see you back down there. We'll see what we can do to get this thing wrapped up on a beautiful, turned out to be a very beautiful Saturday. Sun came out. It's really nice working weather. Really nice. We even get dumpster divers. There's a dumpster diver back there. Welcome to Muskegon. All right, there's the old pedestal. She's pretty crusty. And that is the way to do it, because this thing's probably been here for 20 plus years. And guess what? There's still wire, there's still conduit. There's the big old piece of concrete still there to screw to. So that's the way to do it, boys and girls. That's nice. Thank you for the person that was looking ahead for the next guy. All right, before I set you up on a tripod, I wanted to show you how messy the van is. It's not really even messy, it's just a lot of stuff. I had to get all this water. So I got all these water jugs. Something's alive. I don't know what that was. Did you see it? I didn't see it. I got all that. Like, I got the gooseneck down here. The new gooseneck. That, I got a couple tools, no big deal. And then look, who's gonna clean up the back of this van? Are you gonna clean up the back of this van? I don't wanna clean up the back of this van. Yikes. I had to bring all that extension cord in case I gotta run to the building. Oh, all right, let's get to it. Now, of course, my new gooseneck plate doesn't match the holes that was with the old one. My plate's actually a little bit bigger, and I'm not going to drill through that thick plate, so it's just easier since I actually have a concrete hammer drill that makes your life so much better that I always recommend get a hammer drill, get a hammer drill, get a concrete hammer drill. They just, when you have one, you spend the money, they just make life so much better. So I'm grinding these off, these studs, and I'm gonna put fresh ones in. So I discovered a problem. This gooseneck, well, let me show you. So when I was originally looking at this gooseneck, I thought, man, I kind of like this. I like the tube, you know, I think it looks beefy, it looks crisp, it looks nicer. I like it. I like the appearance of it. I just think it looks cool. And I started thinking about it, I thought, well, crap. Well, how am I gonna run my wires if they're not in the same tube? I can't just, you know, jump it like the normal ones that kick off of there. So I'm like, I gotta bring a wire back down. And of course, luckily they left this high. So the conduit will have to go on one. I'll have to bring a wire back down, loop it back through to get to my top. It's gonna be a real pain in the butt. I don't know. I don't know if I'm a fan of this now. Looks cool, but function-wise, might not be so cool. When you do this kind of stuff, you gotta have a fish tape. It's almost like a must to have a fish tape. You gotta have a vacuum, plastic bag, the string, you know, like a concrete string or for pulling a line or on a fence. But this was a little bit challenging, but it would have been way more challenging, we're gonna say that, if I didn't have that fish tape, because there was just no way I was pushing that wire up. And I don't believe I had a vacuum today. So luckily for the fish tape, you know, 1 for me, 0 for the gooseneck. But that gooseneck, I don't think I like that style. So kind of off camera, but what I like to do is see that rope just got pulled, that cable, and I'm pulling it so it doesn't get pinched down there. So you gotta, it would have been nice to have 2 people, there's no doubt. I should have brought one of the kids or somebody. It was a little bit challenging to do by myself, because now that I got this gooseneck up, I'm gonna keep it from falling over. Luckily, it would kind of stand on its own, so I got lucky there. But if it wasn't, I'd have to rope it. I mean, I'd figure out something, don't get me wrong. But it's just sometimes easier with 2 people. I'll tell you what, the best thing money can buy is that knee pad that I got my knees on right now. That thing is like a money saver all day. I'd buy 50 of those things. They're not that expensive, 20, 30 bucks, you know, and it just keeps your knees from being in the dirt and cold and on rocks. I've done that before. It makes me want to go do this job, making life a heck of a lot easier. Hey, I got the right shims today. Amazing. I like those composite ones because obviously they last longer, not going to decompose like the wood ones. So I got to work on getting this thing shimmed. I got a level. I'll check it on both sides. I mean, with it being square tubing, the square tubing does work pretty nice for leveling. That's one of its benefits. This cover above my head, though, that thing was a bear. I had it up, like taping that or something up so it'd stay. I think it fell down again on me at one point, but it was kind of a pain in the butt. There was nowhere to really put it. I didn't want to lock up there. So we made it though. So this isn't really necessary, but I got this surface shield. I kind of like putting that on stuff. I'm going to put it on that cabinet, but I'm going to throw it on these bolts. It's just something that, you know, somebody might hit this for the winter. I mean, it might be 2 years from now. And I look back and I want to see if it helps protect the nuts and bolts at all from rusting. That's all. I didn't do a really good cleanup or anything. I'm just dousing them. But something's better than nothing is the way I look at it. And I'm just curious. I just want to know. I want to come back in a couple of years and see if it looks like it's held up. And I just like trying products and seeing what they do. So this was something I just kind of figured out on my own that I wish somebody would have taught me. But see how I got a table right there? Those card tables we use for everything, for doing garage door installs, I mean, construction, I mean, just everything. We use card tables. And as you get older, you young bucks won't understand this, but as you get older, your back starts hurting and you don't want to bend over because you got a gut and your belt's digging into you. A table just elevates you, and it can actually speed up the process by so much. And it just takes out the fatigue. And I mean, I got a nice work surface there. All my stuff's right there. I can set in front of me. It's probably almost like having a carpenter a belt, you know what I mean? Like, to have all your tools right in front of you, it's amazing. You're not going down to the ground or anywhere weird. So I try to use these gel connectors everywhere, especially in Michigan with the rain, the salt, the snow, the elements. Those gel connectors have silicone in them, so as you squeeze down on them, it'll squirt out the silicone, and it just helps encapsulate it so it doesn't corrode over the years, and you get a nice good connection. Now sometimes I have to strip the wires a little bit to make them bite because the wires are too fat to fit in there, but normally it's not that big a deal. I just make do. I just wanted to show you, I stripped the coating back a little bit, otherwise they don't fit in here sometimes. So this coating is just a little bit too heavy for it, so I stripped just a nip back just so I got good connections. With the gel connectors, it squeezes out. It's silicone, so nice and silicone in there. Keeps them from corroding and everything. Works real nice. Don't forget to put the backer plate on, the gooseneck. You need that for the keypad to have something to mount to. I've done that a few times. I put them upside down sometimes too. And this one I actually, believe it or not, you're not going to see it, but I put the new cover on, the new back cover, with the old keypad. So I just said, you know what, nobody looks on the backside. I'm just rolling with it. So that was my goof, but it'll be fine. All right, here's where we're at. Keypads are mounted. Both are working. Beep, beep. Mounted, it's working good. Now I gotta adjust this pole. Probably not gonna like what I'm gonna do, but I'm probably strap it. It's that trio tracks. Yep. I sure hope a train doesn't come through. Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. Yep, gotta do what you gotta do. All right, guys, I wanna talk to you about something. I see this a lot with a lot of guys. And if you're new, I want you, if you're new in the industry or you come work for me, you got employees, anything, all above. I see so many guys that never stand back and look at the work. You got to stand back and you got to look at your work, because right now this is a real big illusion going on here. And I'm going to show you what I got. So right now, if you look, the keypad's good. I've checked it both ways. It's level. But if I try to level this out, it looks crooked to that keypad for whatever reason. I don't know what the whole reason is, but I can tell you just by standing back, if I was any blow Joe, I'd look back when I had it the way it was and I go, that thing's crooked. So now I'm manipulating it to match the pull. You know, this thing could be off a quarter and I'm just not catching it on the level. But it's also when I stand back here, see I'm sighting down that pull and my gooseneck. So these are all things you got to think about. You know, sometimes you just got to stand, before I go blasting heat on this, which it could change. I think I got it where it's not going to change too much. I really need to stop when I'm welding and look at it, because that when I form that heat down there, things could change or twist on me. Let's take a look at it. So this is what I got. I notched it. I went too far, of course. Never fails. I'll have to fill it in. It's gonna look a lot nicer than being crooked. I didn't have to pull up a pole. Didn't have to deal with concrete. Just hope that the welder. We're gonna see how the Milwaukee holds up. All right, let's go along this journey together. So let's give you little pointers here. Milwaukee batteries are all, you probably can't see them, but they're all fully charged. I had them on this to charge. They all went green. This is a Miller, it's like a suitcase welder. It does stick weld. So we're gonna see how this thing does, if it even will work. It might not work. Lights are on, fully charged. I don't know why it's blinking. Stop blinking. It blinks in the thing, but it's not blinking here. So on here, on the video you're watching, it's blinking, but it's not blinking here. That's weird. That's weird. All right, I did put a little piece of fill in there, so hopefully I don't gotta be here for 10 hours. We're gonna see how this thing does, see if it works. Well, there you have it. Will a Milwaukee power pack run a small Miller welder? And yes, it will. It actually ran it pretty good. I was having a little glitch at first. My cord's not doing so good. It's got a little short end, but you can see, I know it shows on here blinking. It's not blinking. I was only used 1 bar. Yeah, these are about down 1 bar. 1 bar. Ooh, that one's got full. And that one's got full still, but it says 1 bar. That's not bad. That's not bad for a little suitcase welder. I'd like to get you the model in case you need to know, but that's probably it right there, that T something. Or whatever, the 150S. Works good in a bind. Got some sticks. Whew, throw a little paint on it. Take straps off, clean up this massive mess. Look at all this. Look at all these tools. All these tools just to get this fixed. Crazy. It's crazy. All right, a couple last things. We're gonna get this fixed for the customer because wintertime's coming and that could be a problem. So let's just do this the easy way. There. Wasn't that much easier? So what I did is I did a little offset to it because I'm pretty sure, see what happens, this, it won't do it too bad right now, but this gate doesn't have a wind bar on it, so it drifts a lot, and it probably caught the last one. So maybe just by getting it over 2 or 3 inches will help prolong its life. Yes, this gate, it could definitely use what we call a stiffy or a wind bar. It's just not in a good situation. We got all this wind coming from the west over Lake Michigan and Muskegon Lake. Yes. It was probably something either somebody overlooked or it saved them a couple $100. And now I get to be the guy that pays the price. What's this? Who does this? This was not our install. I'll have to come back during the week, get that programmed. So for now, it's one of those things you always have to idiot-proof things. Don't use this one. Use this one. Not that one, this one, because this one still has the memories of all the codes. This one does not, because it's a new keypad. And I'm not going to bother whoever's in charge on a Saturday. Hurry! Show you what happens when you got stiffy on here. Ah! Gate closed. Or reversed. Hopefully when I come back I can remember I'll bring a thing, because bees like to make nests in those, which is not cool. So I'm going to show you as this gate, when it closes, which will be any second here. Hopefully. There it goes. Gotta try not to hit the reversing, but see this gate, farther it comes out, more it sways. Look how I'm swaying it. No reverse on it, or no stiffy, I mean. So if the wind's blowing hard enough, hopefully it won't hit my thing. Ooh, I didn't want to make it do it, but it could still do it. Might have to, we'll see. Like I said, I got a few inches off there, but time will tell. Time to clean up this mess. Time to get out of here. I had enough, man, for a Saturday. This is the real life right here. This is why it depends on how you want to do your work. Can you do it in 2 hours? Probably yes. But you're slam bam, thank you Sam, you're not doing any extras, right? You're not tightening a chain, you're not fixing a photo eye, you're not greasing things up like they should be, you're not getting stuff level. This is what it takes. Basically an entire day just for a gooseneck. Because by the time I clean up this mess, when I bring all this concrete that I might not need, and I had to bring extra wires because I thought I was gonna have to plug into the building back here somewhere to get power. But the Milwaukee saved the day, I ain't gonna lie. It worked. But you know darn well if I wouldn't have brung the extension cords, it wouldn't have worked. So, just nature of the beast. But look at. So anyways, if you don't mind on the way out, if you made it this far, hit the like button. become a subscriber. I won't stalk you. And I guess we'll see you on the next one. Hope you have a great day. Came back the next day to program that keypad. Snowstorm, big snowstorm we had. This is nothing. We got 12 inches of down power lines and everything, but I decided we'd whip by the gate just for the winter months. So we had fun playing in the snow. Take care.